Hi friends, this is Carmen. Welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. Today I have a video for you that's been requested from me from quite a few people for quite a while. But I finally have all of the things that I need to do this video, and that is to show you how I revive my houseplant potting soil, meaning the potting soil that comes from the nursery, that's in the nursery pot when you buy the plant before you repot it into something fresh. What do you do with that soil? Do you throw it away? Do you revive it? Do you reuse it? What do you do, and what process is that? Well, I'm going to show you today what I do with mine. This by no means is a scientific method or a very measured method, but it's what I do with mine and what's been working for me so far, and perhaps it'll work for you. So enough jabbering and let's get to it. Okay, so I've moved the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. And I've got two lid containers here that I'll be working with. One has potting soil that I have been accumulating from a repotting that I did a couple of days ago. This is a mixture of different ones, okay? And this is just some of it. I also, underneath here, have this bin that I need to reuse, actually revive. This is unrevived soil. And this is revived soil. Okay, so that's what it looks like afterwards. Okay, so let me show you what I'll be doing. So you have your soil here. That's your one ingredient, your main ingredient. This has come from nursery pots that plants that I've recently purchased that come from reputable nurseries that I have inspected. I know the plant was healthy. I know the soil is healthy, but it doesn't have everything that I want in it as far as the chunkiness I want for the free draining or the nutrients that it will need. So those are some of the things I'll be adding to it. Before I start, I always go through and pick out any little pieces of roots that may be in it. Just go through it. I do not microwave my soil. If a plant has been unhealthy with pests, very bad root rot, or it was outside for a long period of time, say for instance in my patio, I do not reuse that soil. So soil from my balcony plants that I may be repotting, that old soil, I will put in a pail or something. And I actually, since I don't have a yard to dump it into, I actually take it to my parents' house because my dad has a big yard that he grows lots of vegetables in and stuff. So that soil I take over there. I don't want to go through the process of redoing or reviving the succulent mix. I only do the houseplant mix, okay? So I go through it. Make sure it doesn't have any pine stuff in it. And let's just put some in here. That's 3 handfuls, 4 handfuls. This is not by any means a measured way. I kind of go by sight. So here's what we'll be working with. So it makes it a little bit easier to mix. Now what I want to do in this is, one, add some drainage stuff. So I have 2 things that I use for that. And I need to get some more of this perlite. I add perlite. I'm running out because I used some the other day. So I add some perlite, probably about a handful. So I've got about 4 handfuls of soil, about a handful of perlite. Then I add some very chunky orchid bark. Whoops. And I'll probably add about 2 handfuls worth. And as you can see, I eyeball it. So those things are easy to find in a big box store, Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart. Although lately it seems like the orchid bark has been a little bit harder to find, and that orchid bark I have is actually from Amazon. The perlite also. I don't know what it was that when I went to purchase those things, I went to like a Home Depot, Lowe's, they didn't have any. Okay, so I mix that up and I kind of eyeball it. I see, okay, doesn't look like it has enough perlite in it, or it doesn't look like it has enough chunkiness as far as the orchid bark. That's how it's looking. So that portion is for the drainage. Now for the amendments. There's 2 routes you can take. I had been using worm castings quite a bit, so I would add a handful of the worm castings, worm poop basically, okay? Now I still do use worm castings, you know, if I want to top dress a plant, especially like a succulent or something, instead of, because I normally don't use fertilizer on my succulents, so I'll do a little top dressing of a handful of worm castings and work it into the top of the soil, and that will be its nutrition. But lately I've been adding this Tank Screen Stuff Super Mix. Let me just read what's in this. This is really heavy. Okay. Has organic compost, composted chicken manure, worm castings, gypsum, biochar, soy meal, leonardite, calcium, humic acid, kelp meal, bat guano, bat poop, blood meal, feather meal, beneficial soil, microbial blend, zeolite, and over 60 trace minerals. Okay, now if I were to try and go and buy all of those, you know, I would, yeah, it would be pretty difficult. So I just sprinkle some on. This can be used in your garden or your containers. There's instructions here on how to use as far as within a gallon size container, you know, pot size or whatever, and it tells you there. It can be very, if you grab it with your hands, it will kind of not stain your hands. You can wash it off, but it sticks to your hands. So I always have some right here. You can see how fine it is. Okay, and this is just a, well, this is a ½ teaspoon, and I just get some and I just sprinkle some on. So for this, I'll probably use a teaspoon, 2 halves. And I just sprinkle that in there. A little goes a long way with that, okay? If I were putting together a big bucket, I would use more, obviously. So then I just mix it up. Okay. And mix it up well. And then I would either, if I'm going to be repotting right away, I would use this right away, or I would add it, for instance, to that little bucket that I have below of soil that I've already revived that's ready to go. Now recently I have gotten a bag of the Delatanks soil mix. I do have that. I'm kind of using that sparingly for my more uncommon or more rare plants that I may acquire, and then for my more common, I know that sounds, oh God, that almost sounds like, you know, terrible. I'll use this one. which is just as good. If you look, you know, it has a lot of the same things as far as the chunkiness, the fertilizer, and all of that. But it just comes from soil that I just so happen to already have. So, just spread this out. So this will go into a container that has already revived soil, okay? So remember, you need to start off with good soil that you know does not come from a plant that's had bugs or bad root rot, or for me personally, I don't use the one from outside, and you've taken out any roots or anything that's left in there. Then you add your drainage with the perlite and the orchid bark. You can add pumice too instead of the perlite. Pumice is a little bit harder to obtain, but that perlite is good. This one I got online, and I find that this one's a little bit chunkier than the one you get at the Home Depot, like the Miracle Grow kind. And then you can add your amendments, your nutrients. Worm castings is a wonderful, wonderful nutrient. This is about $11, $13. This bag, I got it off of Amazon. Or I choose to add the amendment of the Super Mix. Okay, either one. I wouldn't necessarily add both because you'd just be wasting your worm castings, because the super soil already has the worm castings in it. I'd use the worm castings for something else and top dressing on already potted plants and working into the top of the soil. That can be its nutrient. Okay, well, there you have it, friends. That is how I revive and reuse my soil. Like I said, it's not a scientific method by any means. It may be different than some of the other plant tubers that you've seen out there, but this is what I find works for me. I don't like throwing soil away. That's why the one that I don't use, I take to my parents' house and they can use it in their garden. But the one that I can use, I try to revive it and use it whenever I can. It saves money, it saves the environment, and you know, I like digging around in soil too and mixing stuff up. I'm not a great cook, but I can work soil really good, okay? So if you enjoyed this video, friends, please do give it a thumbs up. I appreciate that so much. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. Have a blessed day. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.